Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, please email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. Your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Email me directly for pricing. My email is tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we are discussing a lovely watch that launched in its current form in 2013. It represents outstanding value in complicated watchmaking. This is the Breitling Transocean Unitime Pilot, 46 millimeters in stainless steel. It's a big pilot's watch, but not a big pilot's watch. 15.5 millimeters thick, the 46 millimeter diameter watch is large from lug to lug, 58.7 millimeters across the wrist with a 24 millimeter spacing between the lugs. We're going to throw this watch on my wrist, which is 16 centimeters circumference, and you can see that it's too big. I believe you need a wrist of 17 centimeters circumference or larger to wear this particular version of the Transocean. It'll give you tremendous wrist presence and a lot of character and color as the soft satin steel and the blue dial mix nicely in combination with the Stibe mesh bracelet that I'll show you in just a moment. This is a wonderful vintage throwback on a watch that interprets the 1950s Transocean models as well as the 1260 Unitime reference. Now, taking a quick look at the watch, this is where we're going to discuss the hardware. Straight bar interface. This is something you would have seen in the 1950s and 60s when bracelets were attached to watches. Very rarely would you see a conforming end link. Now, Stibe is a German company that makes mesh bracelets, and they make mesh bracelets for almost every company that uses mesh bracelets. This one is unusual in that it is all a muted satin color. So almost every other mesh bracelet equipped on every other model from every other company, including Breitling, generally polished. So this is a rare muted finish. You can see how perfectly aligned and finished the edges of the links are. These are created in large carpets of chainmail, and then they're cut with the edges machined to remove the sharp burrs. You can see that it is sized conventionally with screw-fixed removable links, so it's a very easy thing and a traditional thing to size. While it is unconventional in appearance, it is also very easy to get the right size, because not only do you have screw-fixed removable links, but they're relatively narrow in cross-section, and Breitling gives you a lot of them. You can also see that it is a silky and supple thing that feels more like fabric than chainmail on the wrist. We have a single folding deployant clasp with a clamshell lock. You can see it too is satinated outboard. There are 4 divots drilled into the clasps. You can use your strap tool to change the anchoring points. So between the removable links, of which you have many, and those 4 divots, you're going to get the right fit clamshell lock, absolute security on the wrist, strong case lines. These are full lugs. They have a little bit of a subtle transitional bevel on their shoulder, but for the most part, very straightforward. The lugs are broken out from the case band, which is an interesting aesthetic element as it breaks the case and the lugs into separate sculptural volumes, and they read separately, so it helps to prevent the monolithic aesthetic you might normally get on a 46 millimeter watch. Pump style pushers, you've got a crown, also satinated. Everything is a muted finish, and then we've got this lovely bubble-like sapphire with a box section to evoke 1950s plexiglass. The dial is a soft satin blue with applique rhodium-plated steel indices as well as Breitling logo and Arabic numeral 12. The timepiece does include a world time function as well as a chronograph, so you're getting a lot of value and complication here. You can see outboard we have 24 principal cities to represent 24 principal time zones, and they have some little subtle cues. You can see next to New York there's a little arrow and then a sunburst. That lets you know where summertime and wintertime differentials are employed. Now, of course, you put your current city up at 12 o'clock. That's where the index is. I'm in Philadelphia, so New York is my reference city. But let's say I want to change my reference city. Well, I can do that quite easily, and I can do it bi-directionally. Let's say I want to jump to Mexico City or visit my sister in Denver. The watch does all the math for me. And note that not only is there the center time, but there's also this very subtle 24-hour chapter ring, and you can see that when I set the watch, as the hands move clockwise, the chapter ring moves counterclockwise. So for example, I can now see that in New York it is exactly 6. You read the minutes at center, then you read the arrow adjacent to the city. 10 in the Azores, 12 in Paris. And because it's in a 24-hour format, you know whether you're looking at, for example, 10 p.m. or 10 a.m. You can see right now in Tokyo, 20. Right now in Rio de Janeiro, 8. right now in London, 11. Very straightforward, easy to read, intuitive, and quick. As a dual time watch will only give you 2 time zones, this watch makes the world your oyster. Some notes about the chronograph. It uses a very sharp and positive column wheel action with a vertical clutch. So thanks to the vertical clutch, there's no jump to the chronograph seconds wheel when you start it. And thanks to the column wheel, it is very positive and crisp to operate. Automatic winding, 70-hour power reserve, COSC certified Swiss chronometer, 4 Hertz beat rate. You've got the stop second function. If you pull the crown out all the way, you stop the seconds. You've got the adjustment system for your city of reference, as well as your center time. You have a date window. The watch, of course, features 100-meter water resistance, which is way above average for a pilot's watch. Those tend to be 30 to 60. So this is a versatile watch that gives you a lot of refinement, value in complications, and also a darn good-looking watch for a big wrist. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.